ever noticed your dog suddenly barking at absolutely nothing? You look around, no strangers, no animals, no unusual sounds, yet your dog is fixated, barking intensely into thin air. It can feel spooky, mysterious, or just plain confusing. But here's the truth. Your dog is almost never barking at nothing. Science shows us that when dogs appear to bark at invisible triggers, there are usually very real reasons behind it. Reasons we humans often miss. In this video, we're going deep into the fascinating science of why dogs bark when we can't see the cause. And by the end, you'll not only understand your dog better, you'll be able to respond in ways that improve their behavior, reduce stress, and strengthen your bond. So let's break it down. First, let's talk about sensory power. Humans are limited. We hear between 20 and 20,000 hertz. Dogs? They can detect sounds up to 65,000 hertz. That means a dog might hear a high-pitched frequency from an electronic device, a distant whistle, or even a mouse scratching inside a wall. Things completely invisible to us. And smell? That's even more incredible. Research from the University of Alabama found that dogs can detect a single drop of odor in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So when your dog barks at nothing, they might actually be reacting to a scent trail left by another dog, or the faint smell of wildlife carried on the wind. To them, the world is full of signals we'll never notice. Science also explains barking as an instinctive survival tool. Dogs descended from wolves, and wolves rely on vocal signals to warn the pack of danger. Even domesticated dogs retain this instinct. So, when your dog barks at the corner of the yard or the empty hallway, it may be their brain's way of saying, "I sensed something. Better be safe than sorry." It's not random, it's protective. Another reason? Dogs see differently than we do. They're not colorblind, but their eyes are tuned to detect motion far better than ours, especially in low light. So when your dog suddenly stares into the darkness and barks, it might be because they caught the flicker of movement, a shadow, an insect, or even dust drifting. A 2017 study in animal cognition found that dogs respond strongly to subtle motion cues, even when humans can't detect them. So the nothing your dog barks at could actually be something very real, just invisible to your eyes. But let's not forget the behavioral side. Sometimes, barking at nothing is simply a learned response. Dogs are quick learners. If your dog barked into the void once and you reacted, maybe you checked on them, petted them, or even laughed, they might have realized, "Oh, this gets attention." Over time, the barking becomes a way of saying, "Notice me." Psychologists call this operant conditioning, behavior reinforced by results. Another major factor is anxiety. Dogs who experience separation anxiety or general nervousness often bark at subtle triggers or at nothing at all, as a way of releasing stress. Studies from veterinary behaviorists show that dogs with high cortisol levels, the stress hormone, are more likely to bark excessively, even when no clear threat exists. So, if your dog seems on edge, their barking may be more about emotion than environment. As dogs grow older, cognitive changes can also play a role. Canine cognitive dysfunction, similar to dementia in humans, can cause disorientation. An older dog might bark into an empty room simply because they feel confused, or they believe something unfamiliar is present. According to research published in the Journal of Veterinary Internal Medicine, nearly 28% of dogs over 11 years old show signs of cognitive decline, and vocalization is a common symptom. So now you're probably wondering, how should I respond when my dog barks at nothing? Here's what science suggests. Stay calm. If you panic or scold, your dog may interpret it as confirmation that there was a threat. Observe patterns. Is it always in the same spot? at the same time of day? These clues can help identify hidden triggers, provide enrichment. Mental games, sniffing walks, and puzzle toys can reduce boredom barking. Training cues. Teach the quiet command using positive reinforcement. Reward silence, not barking. Check health. If barking suddenly increases, a vet check is wise, especially for older dogs. Before we dive into the deeper psychology of barking, let me quickly ask, if you're enjoying this breakdown of dog behavior, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss the upcoming videos where we explore even more science-backed insights into why dogs act the way they do. Now, back to the mystery of nothing. There's another layer here, your dog's internal thought process. Dogs don't just react to the environment, they also process memories and expectations. For example, if a delivery truck usually comes at noon, your dog might start barking at 11:50, even if no one's outside yet. Their brain has paired the environment with an anticipated event. This is known as classical conditioning, first described by Pavlov. And it means sometimes your dog barks at an idea, not a reality. Ever notice how barking at nothing happens more at night? There's a reason. At night, human activity drops, but environmental cues, like animals moving, wind-shifting scents, or distant noises, become more noticeable to a dog's sensitive senses. A 2019 study in applied animal behavior science found that dogs bark significantly more during quiet nighttime hours, precisely because background noise is lower and faint triggers stand out more. Now, let's tackle the question people secretly wonder about. Are dogs seeing ghosts? Science can't prove the paranormal, but what we do know is that dogs perceive things beyond our range of senses. So, while it might look like they're barking at something supernatural, it's almost always sound, scent, or subtle motion we can't detect. It may not be ghosts, but to your dog, it feels just as real. If barking at nothing becomes excessive, here's what you can do. Redirect focus. Give your dog a task, fetch, sit, or come, so their brain shifts gears. White noise. At night, low background sound can mask faint noises. Structured walks. Regular exercise reduces restlessness and barking. Desensitization. Gradually expose them to mild versions of triggers so they learn not to overreact. Behaviorists agree, consistency is key. Dogs thrive when they know what to expect. And here's something many owners overlook: diet. Certain nutritional imbalances can actually make dogs more restless and more prone to barking. For example, studies in veterinary nutrition have shown that low levels of tryptophan, an amino acid linked to serotonin, may increase vocalization and anxiety in dogs. So sometimes, what looks like random barking is tied to what's in the food bowl. It's worth talking to a vet if you suspect diet could be influencing behavior. Another overlooked factor is breed tendencies. Some dogs are simply more vocal by nature. Terriers, beagles, and Shelties, for example, were bred for alertness and communication. So what looks like barking at nothing could actually be a dog doing exactly what their genetics designed them to do: announce, alert, and communicate with their humans. Knowing your dog's breed tendencies helps you set realistic expectations and training approaches. So, does your dog bark at nothing? Not really. Behind every unexplained bark is a reason. A scent, a sound, a shadow, anxiety, age, diet, genetics, or learned behavior. Understanding these hidden triggers doesn't just solve the mystery. It helps you build trust, respond calmly, and improve your dog's well-being. Your dog's world is bigger than your eyes and ears can detect. The next time they bark at the empty air, remember, they're not imagining things. They're simply experiencing reality in ways we can't. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, check out my previous one, where we explored the simplest way to train your dog. I'll put the link in the description so you can easily watch it next. And remember, every bark tells a story. Science just helps us translate it.